Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is Man's Final Steps. It is a continuing series to those who would be among the ranks of the 144,000 and multitude mentioned in Revelations chapter 7 and 14. Today is February 11th. February 11th, 2014. My name is Symmanayah, and in this segment, this continuing series of Man's Final Step, in this segment, it is entitled, The Call to Unity, 12 Full Baskets. My brothers and sisters, I want to read some scriptures to you before getting into this segment, which again is entitled, The Call to Unity, 12 Full Baskets. But before I begin, allow me to state this. Yes, I have mentioned this in previous recordings. This message builds on what was stated before, and I am compelled to believe they have relevance to the gathering of the 144,000 specifically. I ask your prayers for discernment and understanding as I proceed. Bread. On the matter of bread, John 6:33-35 reads as follows. For the bread of Elohim is he who has come down out of heaven and gives life to the world. So they said to him, Master, give us this bread always. And Yahushua said to them, I am the bread of life. He who comes to me shall not get hungry at all, and he who believes in me shall not get thirsty at all. I want to skip down to the 47th verse and continue in the same chapter, 6th chapter, and read 47-51, which reads as follows. Truly I say to you, he who believes in me possesses everlasting life. I am the bread of life. Your fathers ate the manna in the wilderness, and they died. This is the bread which comes down out of the heaven, so that anyone might eat of it and not die. I am the living bread which came down out of heaven. If anyone eats of this bread, he shall live forever. And indeed, the bread that I shall give is my flesh, which I shall give for the life of the world. Keep this in mind as we go into this segment more. So I wanted to just talk about the bread of life. We see the ultimate bread of life is indeed Yahushua. Now I want to direct your attention to where Yahushua talked to his taught ones, and he basically said he would make them fishers of men. Matthew 4:19 reads, and he said to them, follow me, and I shall make you fishers of men. Luke 5:3-7 reads, and entering into one of the boats which belonged to Simon, he asked him to pull away a little from the land, and he sat down and was teaching the crowds from the boat. And when he ceased speaking, he said to Shimon, pull out into the deep, and let your nets for a catch. And Shimon answered and said to him, Master, we have toiled all night and caught none. But at your word I shall let down the net. And when they did so, they caught a great number of fish, and their net was breaking. And they motioned to their partners in the other boat to come and help them, and they came and filled both boats, so that they were sinking. Here we see at the command of Yahushua, launching out into the deep, going beyond just the literal of just throwing a net in the water, but launching into the deep, studying, leaning into him, following his word. As a result, success emerged. I want to also bring your attention to when the Mashyach, Yahushua, fed the multitude. Please take note. John 6th chapter, verses 9-13. And they read as follows. Here's a boy who has 5 barley loaves and 2 fishes. But what are these for so many? And Yahushua said, make the people sit down. Now there was much grass in the place, and the men numbering about 5,000 sat down. And Yahushua took the loaves, and having given thanks, he distributed them to the taught ones, and the taught ones to those sitting down, and the same with the fish, as much as they wish. And when they were filled, he said to his taught ones, gather the broken pieces that are left over, so that none gets wasted. So they gathered them and filled 12 baskets with broken pieces of the 5 barley loaves which were left over by those who had eaten. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, there is a living message even behind the literal passage here. And we see at the word of the Most High how a multitude was fed. We see how that multitude, thinking they were filled, or were filled, I should say, but in their filling, they still left behind valuable pieces, such that the fragments was able to fill 12 basketfuls. I ask you, could that 12 basketful save a life, save many lives? Could it provide food for more hungry people, or once they're hungry again? Ponder on this, my brothers and sisters. Given what I've just read, one can witness scriptures comparing the Mashyach, Yahusha, to the bread of life. As I continue, we discovered the Mashyach, Yahusha, stating to his taught ones, he will make them fishers of men. Individuals who will be used by him to draw others closer to himself, Yahusha. Remember, it is written in John 12:32, and if I am lifted up from the earth, shall draw all men unto myself. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, there is a comparison when we look at becoming fishers of men. Fishers of men, are we fishing for other men in our own conceit? I'd say we should not be doing such. Are we used by the Spirit of Yahusha as fishers of men, and by his word we gather others? Others are brought together with much success by his words. Keeping these words in mind, now consider Yahusha instructed his taught ones to launch into deeper waters in order to catch fish. Are you beginning to see a correlation or comparison? In Luke 5:5, we witnessed the acknowledgement of the words of Yahusha, obedience, and it resulted in catching many fish. Now let's move on to feeding of the multitude. While there are diverse accounts regarding feeding the multitudes in scriptures, I specifically wanted to bring your attention to the 6th chapter of John. 5 loaves and 2 fish were used to feed a great multitude of roughly 5,000 people. While there is a message even in the 5 plus 2, I will mention that another time. I want to draw your attention to after they had eaten. Notice that Yahusha instructed his taught ones to gather the pieces left over so that none get wasted, referencing John 6, verse 12 and 13. Out of obedience came 12 full baskets. Is it possible? Could this represent the life of Yahuwah's chosen? Could these 12 baskets that came to be represent the 12 tribes of Yasharal? Am I stretching, or could there be a message worth hearing? Consider this: the Almighty Father made Yasharal his chosen, and then with the intent to move towards other nations, he offered salvation also to those who are known as Gentiles, Goyim, or other nations. All of this is to bring about the plan of salvation for all who seek to worship and obey him, the Almighty Father Yahuah. There were times when Yasharal was envied by many due to their relationship with the Almighty, righteous Father Yahuah. If Yasharal represented Yahuwah's chosen and demonstrated righteousness, and people hungered to be like them, when righteousness became acknowledged, we see that man took it and ran with what they thought was the power of the Almighty Father by stealing his words and attempting to hide his true name. In other words, they hungered. They fed off of scriptures recklessly. They thought they were getting it all. In their minds, they believed they were responsible, and they ate till they were filled. But even out of man's recklessness, even out of man being filled with what they had done to the scriptures, there remained the fragments, the pieces. Yasharal scattered from to the four corners of the earth. Yes, man may have taken and ran with the scriptures. Many may have taken translations and abused them. But in all, by the word of Yahuwah, he will bring us together again. Yes, the almighty power of the Almighty Father Yahuwah, by his words, we will see that what happened in the past with man taking and running with the word is akin to hungry people eating food recklessly and leaving fragments. Just as we read when Yahusha fed the multitude, there will be hungry. They were hungry, but left enough pieces to fill 12 baskets. I say to you, look around, my brothers and sisters. Man has taken scriptures and translated them to many different ways. They have also removed the Almighty Father Yahuwah and Yahusha's true name in many books, replaced them with pagan, false, idol names and terms. Yes, they took and ravaged scriptures, but in their wickedness and overeagerness for power, what remained were fragments of truth. Fragments of truth scattered across the globe in the form of many different religions, practices, and beliefs. However, I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, again, if we come to realize the living word of the Spirit of Yahusha and move into obeying him through his set-apart spirit directly, or as he works through us, we will discover by his words we will come together. The fragments, the pieces will come together. By the words of Yahushua, our Mashyach, our Messiah, we can launch into the deep while continually leaning on his words and discover how fragments that were once scattered, including specifically the 12 tribes of Yasharal, true Yasharal, will be restored. If we have forged a living relationship with our Savior Yahushua, we will come to identify the living power of his words. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the children of obedience will be recognized and they will come to acknowledge the call to unity. And we will witness 12 baskets full, representing the 12 tribes of Yasharal, who were once in pieces, but are now being brought together. The baskets holding the pieces are symbolic of righteous obedience and a common denominator of righteousness in Yahusha, holding us together, bringing us together, making it visible that none will be wasted. End times are here, and we will witness what is necessary to bring us together in order to fulfill what has been written. The call to unity, 12 baskets full, is reflective of an example when Yahusha fed the multitude and there were fragments left, but gathered at his word, at Yahusha's word, were 12 full baskets. I submit to you, the 12 tribes of Yasharal will come together and will be reflective in the 144,000 with 12,000 from each tribe. We will witness Yasharal's coming together. We will witness the call of unity take shape and become visible. The children of obedience will come to be known, and it will not be a mysterious event. It will be an event visible and proven to be at the orders and commands of the Spirit of Yahusha. My brothers and sisters, by no means am I disregarding those grafted into this body of one with many members. Not at all. I am not disregarding them. However, this message is a message to those who were scattered abroad, but will and is being restored. Know this. True Yasharal, all 12 tribes will be represented by the emergence of the 144,000, and there will be a multitude. There will be a multitude of every nation, kindred, and tongue, with the same goals and objectives to worship and obey the Almighty Father Yahuah, and accept Yahusha as Mashyach, and come to know that the Almighty Father sent his set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name to teach us and bring things to our remembrance. Yes, there will be a multitude who will come out of the great tribulation. Pray and watch, my brothers and sisters. All that is necessary to bring the call to unity to fulfillment, all that is necessary to reflect fragments brought together representing 12 full baskets representing the 12 tribes of Yasharal will come to be. We will witness wholeness in the mighty power of the Spirit of Yahusha. We will witness end-time prophecies come to be. Be encouraged. There will be balance. There will be order. There will be structure and discipline among the children of obedience, who will come to be known as the 144,000. Again, with 12,000 from each of the 12 tribes, the true tribes of Yahusha, and accompanied with a great multitude. Now let me say this, my brothers and sisters, a great multitude as it states, but compared to the population on the planet, it will be a remnant. Until next time, my brothers, pray earnestly to make sense out of these words. They just may be a result of the guidance of the Spirit of Yahusha, our Mashyach. They just may be inspired by him, for I am compelled to believe they are. But indeed, you as a listener, it is in your ears. Pray and seek discernment to understand. Is this message a demonstration of words coming alive, getting more out of what is written, or is it totally disjointed? Pray and seek to discern what is righteous. These words will reach the ears of those that they are intended to reach. There are many things that will come to pass. Pray, seek to discern and understand. As a result of direct orders and commands from the Spirit of Yahusha, we will find ourselves participants as he so ordered. Until next time, pray, watch, study, open your eyes. Let us open our eyes. Let us open our ears to hear. And let us establish a ready mind, body, and soul to respond with precision to the call to unity. Let us come to recognize the 12 tribes of Yahusha, 12 baskets full, 12 full baskets. Take shape. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, stay tuned as this series, Man's Final Steps, continue. And there is nothing, no one, no living creature, nothing at all that can stop what is about to unfold. Be encouraged, be ready. Until next time, stay tuned as this series continues. Shalom, shalom, shalom.